everyone, and welcome back to another episode of RAD Parts. Today we're here at RAD Industries, and I want to talk about our new billet main caps. Over the years, I've built lots of motors, and I've bought a lot of main caps. Here, let's look at them, guys. So we have our custom packaging to keep these guys safe on the way to you, and we've labeled them with arrows. The details are all there, guys. Let me pull one out and show you. So here's billet cap main number 1. Let's talk about the pros and cons and why would you even need billet main caps. The main reason you need billet main caps is because the OEM main cap is cast. Cast metal is porous and it will crack. It's a little bit dirty, it's used. This is main cap number 3 off of this OEM GTE motor. We're going to talk a little bit about the main caps, what the potential of this main cap can do, and then why you change it, the benefits you get from changing main caps. So let's talk about the cons of a stock main cap. Stock main cap is made out of cast material, so it can crack. It's not going to crack in the stock form. I mean, it probably could, but I haven't seen it myself. It's going to crack when you add horsepower and you go 700 and up horsepower. That's when they start to crack. And if you're a drifter and you're clutch kicking in 3rd gear and you're putting load on the crank and it's jarring it, it's gonna also help crack it. Or if you're power shifting on the racetrack, not the freeway, that can also break a main cap. The idea with a billet main cap is that it's billet and it's not gonna crack. That kind of gives you this, not infinite, but it gives you this window to go way higher to like 1500 horsepower. Maybe some guys will say 1800, but then you might crack the block because it's cast. There's some limitations, but for the average person that needs 600 to 1000 horsepower, oh, that might not be average either, but let's say we want 600 to 1000 horsepower, maybe even 1200, you definitely need billet main caps. That's when you're gonna have to say goodbye to your OEM ones. They're just not gonna cut it. There's all these choices for main caps, and for the average guy, they don't know what the machinist is doing. They just know, I want more horsepower, I need main caps. Over the years, I've built plenty of motors and I've tried to put billet main caps on literally every build that I could, because I'm the type of person that wants to kind of overkill, maybe do like 1200 horsepower capable, each part, rods, pistons, main cap, whatever, but I might tune it back to 800 or 900 horsepower and then it's just dead on reliable for years. If you guys know me, you know I've never blown up a 2JZ, and I've been doing Supras and 2JZs since 2006. I've never even injured a bearing. Because I like to take precaution. So when we were building these, we made sure that the cut, this is the one that'll have the thrust bearings in it. Well, I worked together with a machinist that builds our engines, and the issues we were running into with competitors' main caps is it wasn't a square cut there. It was the right height and tolerance for the thrust to sit in there. It wouldn't sit up flush, so then he had to come through and do another pass in there. Now it's all oily, sorry about that, but in there to make sure it would sit flush, and we've already taken care of that. We've left added meat on the surface where you're gonna align hone it and align bore it, so that your machinist, wherever you guys might be, has plenty of material to work with and you're not gonna run into any issues. Let's talk about the fitment and the clearance. When you build a main cap, if it's built correctly, it will never just sit in place flat without you kind of hammering it. See how we are there? You can see there's a little gap down in there. And it takes a rubber mallet to put it in place. Let me show you how a stock main cap fits. Stock one. This one's been in there for years. It's now kind of loose, which in stock form, they wouldn't usually do that. You kind of have to tap it in there. If it was brand new, this is not brand new. But if it was to be loose, then you potentially could have it walk a little bit back and forth. So watch this. That's literally perfect tolerance, and your machinist would thank you when he goes to work with these. He's gonna say, these were the easiest billet main caps to work with, because it wasn't just a design thrown together, it was a design put together with my machinist that's built mini motors with me. The machinist that does the machining of these is a different guy, but he worked closely with us and we got it dialed in. So you would never buy main caps and try and use the stock main bolts. You would buy ARP main studs, and you need to make sure the washer fits. It does. We've left 10-15 thousandths of room on the outside edge, so it fits just right. Like I said, we made it a snug, tight fit where you have to tap it in, and we've left material here for your machinist that's building your motor to work with on his align bore and align hone. We kind of accomplish every little tiny area that there could be an issue with a billet main cap, and the reason is because I'm also the end user and I want this to be the best main cap out there, and I strive to make all our parts the best that we can, that we know of, and we take all the ideas of everyone else's main caps and fix all the areas that we could and improve on it. And then we've even made really safe packaging so that they come to you in perfect, undented or rattled around order. Everything is perfect when it shows up to you. So if we go into pros and cons, let's start with cons. Stock one can only handle so much horsepower. Also, the stock ones at this point could be like 30 years old almost. They're high 27 years old. You could have bought a brand new block and casting, but you never know with that. So if you're gonna spend the money to build your motor, put pistons and rods in it, and you want horsepower that's reliable, you need billet main caps. So the positives on our end are that we've gone through all the troubleshooting areas to give you a super user-friendly, probably not for yourself, but for your machinist installation on these billet main caps. They're capable of over 1,500 horsepower. And lastly, they look amazing. They say RAD Industries on it. They're labeled for you and it has good packaging. So if you guys are building a motor, definitely check out our billet main caps for your JZs. These will work on a 1J or a 2J, any JZ for that matter, because the block is all the same on that part of a JZ. Okay, so thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this and maybe answered some questions for you guys. See you guys next time.